If you like your MMOs and your RPGs, we are in a perfect place. As you can see right there, it is Cindy Mutiara Multimedia Sindrabrahat. I want to get inside. Just a little clue today, Razer and HP, two very key ideas. Wait, hold on. As you might remember, I do have something to give away over the course of a certain period of time. More on that later on. By the way, the prize though is that Samsung Notebook Series 5 Ultra, and it is astounding. Stay tuned for that.
Every developer in this room who signed up for BlackBerry 10 Jam session this week will be going home with one of these devices.
For gamers, by gamers. That catchphrase should be rather popular if you are a gamer. Why? Because it's a tagline for Razer, one of the biggest accessories developers in the entire world, and obviously I'm a big fan of it. Now, recently the founder and CEO of Razer was in town. His name is Ming Liang. So he talked about the growth of esports here in Malaysia, amongst other things. Now, he also shared with us a sneak peek of some of Razer's latest products which are yet to hit the stores, and we of course got a first look.
This is the Razer Mamba. This is something that we designed, and it's the world's first true wireless gaming mouse. And I'm super proud of it, essentially because it's pretty much reached a whole different generation in terms of technology. We've just updated the sensor for it. It is probably the de facto gaming mouse for a lot of gamers out there. So this is the Razer Mamba. It's got a new 4G dual sensor. In this, it's got a laser sensor, it's got an optical sensor running at the same time. So this is the Razer Mamba. These are the Electras. It's for mobile gaming, and mobile gaming is getting pretty serious nowadays. And this is pretty much for gamers who like to get phenomenal gaming audio on the go. This jacks into your iPhone or Android phone. It gives you really great bass. I'm really happy with this. This is the Razer Naga Hex, and the Naga Hex was designed around one of the most popular mice in the world, which is the Razer Naga, which was used more for MMO gamers, massively multiplayer online games. The Naga Hex is designed specifically for MOBA, which is, I'm going to have to go through all these with you. Original was for massively multiplayer online games, the MMOGs. These are more for action RTSs like League of Legends, Dota, and for hack and slash games, right? So what we've got is this special hex-like structure that allows you to actuate all the skills and the fastest potions and stuff like that that you will require in-game. So this is the Razer Naga Hex. This brings me to the Razer Blade. This is something that we launched sometime late last year. Now, you know, we've all seen gaming laptops before, but they tend to be about 2 or 3 inches thick, weigh up to 15 pounds, and it's really heavy. It's more like a gaming desktop replacement, and some people call them luggables, right? We believe that a gaming laptop should be both gaming and laptop. So what we've done is we've designed a really powerful gaming laptop. This has got a Core i7 chip and it's super thin. This is 0.88 inches thin. It's 6.6 pounds, so it's less than like half or even a third the thickness of other gaming laptops out there. It is less than a third of its weight, and pretty much is something we're really proud of. So now you can play kind of games, hardcore PC games on the go with phenomenal graphics, and it's super light and thin. And we've got a little bit of a special thing inside here, which is what we call the Switchblade gaming user interface. This allows you to kind of customize and map keys over here. This is what we call a dynamic tactile keys. So if you want to have, let's say, a numpad, bam, you've got a numpad running on it. You want to have Twitter, Gmail, go to gaming mode. This goes into a gaming mode to allow you to kind of change that along the way.
HP has really been making a name for itself as of recent times with their Touch Smart products, and I have to say, pretty nifty. But some people simply don't like having something which is touch. They prefer, well, let's just say the more old school way of a mouse and a keyboard. And to be honest, I'm more inclined that way as well. So let's see exactly what HP have to offer with an absolutely ginormous 27-inch all-in-one stylish and elegant PC desktop. Ooh, it's exciting, and it's time for Gadget Scope. Hide and seek is a game I liked to play as a kid. Could never find a good hiding place, but I have one now, directly behind this behemoth of a computer, as you can see. I mean, I could hide there and you would never be able to see me. Well, maybe just my head. But anyhow, let's not digress. This here is the HP Omni 27 All-in-One. Now, 27 is the key number because that's how big the screen is. Yep, sounds just like the iMac, but of course, it's a completely different ballgame because this obviously is a Windows device. So it's going to get a little bit more interesting. Now, if you think it looks similar to some of the other HP products and you're thinking, oh, is it touchscreen? It's not. Just to show you, I'm just touching everywhere. It's a standard computer desktop. Now, obviously, I'm going to compare it to the iMac simply because it's so similar. But one thing I like to point out, which I kind of prefer, is this big steel stand right here to support the entire device. It's very nifty looking, looks very steady. And in fact, it's got these very stylish brackets along the side to support the screen itself. And it looks very, very nifty. Saying all that, it is rather heavy. I'm not going to try lifting it up, but trust me when I say it's about 35 pounds. So weight, obviously an issue, but let's be honest, once it's down on your computer table or wherever you want to have it at home or at work, you're probably not really going to move it. Let's talk about what you can actually see on the device itself. Now on this side, let me just press a button. It's a standard drive here. This is DVD, although I heard that you can actually get Blu-ray as well, but this one that we have here is standard DVD, which, well, I guess it should just about suffice, right? But most importantly, it's actually on the other side where most of the ports are, which it gets really interesting. You may have noticed a logo up here, by the way, Beats Audio. That fits in simply because you have the Beats Enhance over there for you to plug in your headphones, etc. And of course, it's got a preamp there, and it's got everything else you need. Now, one thing I should point out about that is really nifty, HDMI in. So you can actually turn this into your standard HD TV. I guess you could if you want it. It would save money. It's a two-in-one thing. Other ports there, USB 3.0 and so forth. So pretty much standard, and it's all hidden behind. That's one thing that should be added. So there's nothing here on the front that you can actually see. So quite a nifty little design, and the fact that it's very clean on the face here. In terms of the density of the screen, it should just about do 1920 by 1080, so no complaints there, has to be said. Let's talk a little bit about the accessories. What you can see right here, it's, well, almost standard nowadays, wireless keyboard and mouse. I'll be honest, I don't like wireless anymore. Why? Because battery always runs out on me and I never have batteries at home, but that's just a personal thing which I have. Overall, I think it's great though, and obviously this is pretty much standard, but there are a couple of differences. One, the keyboard is actually specially coated to avoid wear and tear, and there's a big button right here. Well, actually it's the same size as all the other buttons, but it's got a big red B on it, which stands for the Beats Audio. That acts as an on and off switch. Now, on the device itself, it's Windows 7, but there's also this cool nifty thing called Magic Canvas, which is basically what the touchscreen stuff is, but it's adapted for the mouse and keyboard. It's surprisingly good, nothing too bad. There are better keyboards and mouse out there, but this will definitely do the trick. Overall, it's a great, nifty device. I should mention the price actually. It's $4,388, give or take. So very competitively priced if you ask me. Who do I think it's catered for? Really people that love videos and sound, because I haven't mentioned it, but the front speakers are actually pretty good. And of course, having the Beats branding with it also helps in terms of a more private listening experience of the preamp as well. So it all comes together nicely. Now, I did mention that the drive here, the one I have, is not Blu-ray, but you can opt for an upgrade on that. Other upgrades, you could get also a subwoofer. So it's also quite customizable in that sense, and you can definitely boost up what you can do with this bad boy. But obviously, the price will go up substantially, and then you're talking more along the price of the iMac. So which did you go for? All in all, pretty cool. Another option, don't forget, if you don't want to splurge out for a Blu-ray drive or writer, is to just plug in your Blu-ray player. Like I mentioned, HDMI, it can go in as well, not just out, so that's definitely an added plus as an extra television at the end of the day in your house. Pretty good pricing, pretty good device, and I have to say, pretty nifty overall. Solid 3, no, actually, let's go for 4 out of 5.
Hey, Avery Score here with yet another excellent episode of the Gamer Station. I'm here with Caitlin Burns of Starlight Runner Entertainment. Now, she's a transmedia producer. Can you tell us what that means exactly?
Well, a transmedia producer is a producer who creates stories that exist on 3 or more types of platforms. So movies and games and novels, all part of the same story world. And I've done this for original productions, but I've also worked for some of the biggest studios and the biggest stories around. Pirates of the Caribbean for the Walt Disney Company, Halo for Microsoft, Avatar by James Cameron, Tron for the Walt Disney Company, and about a dozen others.
That's incredible. So do you know what is under the Master Chief's helmet? Do you have the inside scoop on that?
I do, but I couldn't tell you.
You'd have to kill me.
I'd have to
So how is that to start? So one of your earliest projects was on Pirates of the Caribbean, is it?
Yes, absolutely. It was a total thrill. I was coming into this very new field, and it was one of the very first projects I had the opportunity to work on. And the level of depth and the level of work that was involved in that was incredible. I mean, Johnny Depp himself is an amazing wealth of interesting stories. Like all of the rings on Jack Sparrow's hands have their own backstory and meaning that he developed with his wardrobe assistant. And those are the sorts of things that become the stories that can become their own executions. So a game, a book, a novel, something that would appeal to younger audiences, or something that could become a full-fledged console experience. All of it is part of the story world. And with Pirates of the Caribbean, it was also a great opportunity to create stories that were localized internationally. So if you go to Disneyland or Disney World, the way you experience Pirates of the Caribbean is different from what you'll see in Hong Kong, and that's also different from some of the stories that were created for Asia. Because there are different pirates, there are different stories, there are different perspectives in the world that are allowed to come to life now that we have the ability to distribute them in more complex ways and the ability to highlight the work of creators internationally.
So when you're doing these localizations and these adaptations to other platforms, how malleable are these characters in these continuums before it sort of breaks character? Could you have Jack Sparrow eat nasi lemak?
You could, but you wouldn't want to have him with a laser gun fighting a dinosaur.
Why not?
Well, part of the job of the transmedia producer is to be able to keep an eye on the core of the story world, being able to figure out what the themes, what the real history and the consistent history of each character is, of the world as a whole. You want to make sure that what the meaning of a story in this universe is the same whether it has Captain Jack Sparrow in it or not. You want to make sure that it all feels like it's part of the same world, because audiences and fans know when something is out of place. And the quality of the work has to be maintained if you want it to be successful. So it's about finding different parts of the story, different parts of the past, present, and future, and putting that together into experiences that are well executed and different, because everyone knows a game is different from a movie, and that's different from a book as well.
I think that's absolutely accurate, and the internet will rise up against you as well and rage if something is not true to the franchise. Recently there was that Mass Effect novel that came out, and so let's transition a little into Halo. Can you tell me about that project and how, I mean, there are books, there are, you know.
Well, Halo, you know, most people know that there are a number of console games, but there are also incredible novels and 700,000 years of history in the chronology of the Halo universe that you can learn about. So many different races of aliens and also humans, a lot of politics, a lot of history, a lot of real stories that have romance, that have diplomatic intrigue, but also, of course, have amazing action. And being able to find the heart of that universe is incredible. And as we were working on it, they were expanding not just from Master Chief and the console games to Halo Wars, the RPG, Halo ODST, which covered human characters, and Halo Reach, which was a prequel essentially to the stories of Master Chief and allowed you a whole different perspective on the universe. And of course now we're going to see the return of Master Chief in Halo 4, which is its own totally new, totally exciting opportunity to tell new stories on any platform you want to find them.
That's incredible. I honestly can't wait for that. Caitlin, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show, telling us a little bit about what you do. Before we go, if anyone would like, out there who's watching, would like to get into transmedia production, what would your advice be to them?
Well, the first step with any transmedia production is that no one can create an elaborate transmedia universe on their own. You have to be able to reach out to other creators on different platforms and learn to talk about story with a whole variety of different people. You can find people like myself, Caitlin Burns, online and on Twitter, and you can go to incredible conferences like the ones Cross Media Lab organize in different places around the world. But the really great thing is, like the internet can rise up to do all sorts of, outrage and explain what's wrong, it can also really help you learn what's right and help you to create the stories that you want to create and learn how to do them in ways that will appeal to people all around the world. So reach out, ask the questions, introduce yourself, and always be willing to seek out a new person.
You heard it here first. Cutting edge, the internet, use it. I'm Avery Score, and this was the Gamer Station.
So, as I mentioned last week and the beginning of today's episode, I do have something to give away. It's a really, really cool and nifty device. There's a couple of steps you gotta do though. Now, let me read this out to you. You have to complete this. Samsung Notebook Series 5 Ultra delivers exceptional performance with blank space, that's what you fill in, which boots up the computer in only 20 seconds. You've got to fill in the blank here. That's step one. Step two, name at least one of the products that were featured on today's show. And finally, you have to compile all 8 questions because we'll be asking them over the course of a couple of weeks, including last week, and complete the slogan, I'm a fan of the Samsung Notebook Series 5 Ultra because, and in not more than 25 words, finish that phrase off. As simple as that. That's where you've got to be creative because that's what could win you that prize at the end of the day. Now, our email address, that's where you send it into. The answers is gngadget@astro.com.my. Stay tuned for next week's episode where we'll feature more questions, of course. My name is Adam Carruthers, and I'll see you next time.